Me and Felicia have been living in Medellin for about a month now, and we've both had quite a few people asking us one question. Is Medellin safe? Now, I'm assuming most of you know that during the 70s, 80s, and 90s, Medellin was known as, or not known as, just was one of the most dangerous cities on planet Earth. Now, very clearly, in the last 20 years, that has become not the case because I'm not dead and Felicia's not dead. And we've never really felt like we were gonna die. But that doesn't mean it is a safe and or dangerous city. This morning, we're gonna start off our day by going to an area that you go to in most cities when you arrive, which is the central downtown area. Strangely enough, in Medellin, this is actually known as one of the more dangerous spots. In fact, that is actually what one of the locals told us when we did a little tour of Comuna 13. Now, my personal rule is that if someone from a developed country tells me something about a developing country, I don't listen and I go find out for myself. But my other rule is when locals tell you something, and especially something to avoid, generally, that's something you should listen to. Anyways, we're gonna go find out. Let's go. We kind of slept in this morning, so we're a little bit too late to catch the train to downtown, so we're gonna get an Uber. Ubers are dirt cheap in this country, so would recommend. Okay, so first off, we're gonna start off the day how we start off kind of every one of these days, which is to do one of the free walking tours. Huge group today, there's 91 people, so I think 3 or 4 different guides, but gives us a good opportunity to actually ask some questions to some local people who know the area, and of course, get a good little bit of a layout of wherever you're doing the walking tour. So let's go see if downtown is as scary as multiple people have made it out to be.
Now, I was asking if you already know the place, because if you don't know that place, I have to describe you that place in advance. Center happens to be a little bit crowded, sometimes really crowded, noisy, very hot, and on top of those amazing things, it is one of those places where you have to take more care of your own belongings. So I don't want to scare you guys, but it's just we are in the real place, in a real city. So just watch yourself as always, and everything will be more than okay.
All right, so as per usual, we have been getting an unbelievable amount of information, a lot about the history of Colombia, but especially Medellin, and the transformation that has taken place in this city. It's pretty incredible, but I am not gonna focus on the history. You guys can go look it up. I mean, geez, there's endless amounts of documentaries and information about the history of Colombia and Medellin. What I do want to focus a lot more on is the safety of Medellin today. Now, what I asked our super awesome tour guide Milo was, why is the center city... Gracias. What I asked him was that, why is the center considered more dangerous than a lot of the other neighborhoods in the city? And happily the answer, or gladly to find out the answer, was pretty simple, and it's just like a lot of other cities around the world, that the center of Medellin is literally just a little bit more dangerous for petty crime. Hola! So things like pickpockets and, I don't know, thefts and things like that are more common here, but other than that, it's actually no more dangerous than anywhere else in the city, so. Even though I said I wasn't going to go into Medellin's history, it's pretty obvious that its history is what gives it its reputation, especially for the older generation who lived through and saw what it used to be like. But we can be honest about the elephant in the room, which, as our awesome tour guide Milo put it, as soon as someone from Colombia says they're Colombian, the immediate association is with drug cartels, gangs, and gang violence, which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is something that local people and just Colombians in general are pretty tired of being associated with. Aguila. Very, very good Colombian beer. Well, I learned a lot today. I don't know if you guys did, but exploring around the quote-unquote, exploring one of the more dangerous areas of Medellin, and as you saw in that video, on multiple occasions, people being super friendly and nice and wanting to chat. I mean, having a camera can sometimes help in socializing with people, but it can also make you a little bit more of a target. Kind of shows that, you know, you're probably a gringo with a bit of money. But I guess the message I wanted to get across in this video is quite simple. Don't listen to what anyone says about any city in the world unless it is legitimately in war. Then, you know, I'm not going to try and argue that point. But don't listen to anyone about anywhere, and that includes me. You know, I've been out today and I understand different people have different experiences in different countries and cities. For instance, one of the most dangerous places or one of the most scared situations, oh my gosh, one of the more scary situations I've ever experienced on my travels was actually in Italy. Sorry, Italy. You know, Italy's a lovely country. It's not a place people say don't go to, but Colombia, unfortunately, still gets painted with this brush of its past. And considering how dangerous it once was, it is kind of understandable, but at the same time, I can assure you, Medellin is a safe city to visit. And it's unfortunate that I do have to keep reiterating the point that I understand things happen to people in any city, including Medellin. There's robberies, there's still murders, there's still drugs. All of those things exist, but they also exist in many, many, many other frequently visited places in the world. God damn, this is good. Anyways, that's enough rambling from me. Come to Medellin. It's awesome. Really inexpensive. The people are lovely. The food's delicious. And it's safe. Bye.